Okay, ladies, get ready! Die Glasbläser going up against the Hotshots, Division 6 today in Heroes of the Storm. On the left side, I'm gonna go over Division 6 in just a second, but let's introduce our players first in this best of 3. Kubi on Samuro, Mondzwerg on Reyna, we have Taivia on Liming, Googlehoos on Diablo, and Graf Tofi on Anduin. Whereas on the right side, a hotshot with Fugitive on Artanis. Yeah, that guy again. Vullish on Ana, Bleu on Kelthas, Legrand KBA on Greymane, and Teletis on Garrosh. And for some reason, we have Artanis still in there. And I really don't want to go on my Artanis rant again. It's getting a little bit old here. And in the last two games that we had on YouTube and on Twitch, I think we always had an Artanis. So I really don't know if I have to go over that entire spiel again. But either way, in this game, we might have to talk about him a little bit. So we have Division 6 on our hands, and well, as Division 7 in Heroes launch is pretty much bronze to gold, the average level of play is a little bit higher in Division 6, but not really by much. And this is exactly why we're gonna get some interesting comms. I mean, Kelthas in particular, for example, is not really one of those heroes, for example, where you say, hey, he's gonna get an amazing amount of value on Battlefield of Eternity. Like, that's not really your choice, usually. There's a lot of empty space in the middle of the map where you will have the teams fight a lot. But of course, he can set up a bit of a CC chain, and that's exactly what they're doing, and they're getting a kill! Yeah, there's the kill against Diablo. One taken down already, and in the meantime, we have at the top lane Samuro going up against Artanis. Now, I have to bitch about him a little bit, just to educate people that haven't watched the last few videos. Artanis, I'll make it quick, I promise. Artanis, the problem that he has, it's a bit misleading. You see amateur opponent, you think he's amazing on Battlefield. Well, short, bottom line, he isn't. The hero in and of itself obviously adds a few things to the table. The problem is that he just pales in comparison to the alternatives that you can take on that tier. The thing is, you don't win games because of Artanis, you win games despite having him in the team. So playing a Blaze in the situation, Leo, Thrall, anybody else on that offlane would just offer you more in team fights and on the lane itself. So Artanis, while being a fun pick, if you're interested in winning and just climbing in a competitive setup like this amateur league that we have here, you should practice other heroes and yeah, master them and then put them into the draft. But that just as a bit of a side note, we had enough Artanis examples in the past. I honestly think that in all the games that I've casted with Artanis this year, he has a win rate of maybe 5% or something. And that's just by sheer luck at the end of the day. And let's not forget that, of course, this is still the lower levels that we're seeing here, so the opponent's team might not be making the best moves there either, as we could just see from Garrosh. It was an interesting attempt though. I mean, he nearly got the kill against Li Ming with that little throw into the towers. He was trying to fully man up, and I gotta admit, if he pulls that one off and gets out of it, I mean, that would be beast mode. That would be him just like having huge cojones there and just saying, boys, I got this. As it stands though, we have for now level 4 on both sides, and currently also interesting, Feast on Fear. Not really something else that I really saw coming in. I mean, you have some stun opportunities, but it's not really, I mean, this isn't Infernal Shrines where you have just an abundance, but at least in this case it helped and also brought him close to the Crybaby. So Anduin was able to zip him over the wall. Well played. Dominance on Liming, by the way. Artanis hasn't chosen a talent yet, is still reading the talent descriptions. Trying to figure out what's going on here. He's not the only one. We have still the objective on the map, and there we go, Artanis with a shield surge. And well, he's gonna need those shields, I suppose. They're trying to get the kill here. Ana with the pew 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 is trying to frontline it a little bit, but gets pushed to the back again as they're trying to make their play. Ho 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 ho! Mr. Swabbity Swap as Artanis comes in and says, hey, I'm adding value. And the blue team is like, do you though? Do you really? Well, maybe not. So Artanis does what he does best, runs away. Yes, he's French, you guessed it already. And with that, we currently have 1 kill against 2. Oh, make that 2 against 2. Look at that. Samuro snuck into the backline and killed Greymane. Alright, nicely done. By the way, do you guys know why French tanks have a rear view mirror? So they can keep track of the front lines. Not sure if we have a lot of French players in this team. I can guarantee you we have definitely a couple of Germans in here. judging from team and hero or player names. But at this point, it's just time for the halftime show. Let's see if someone of them is actually going to get that done, because so far it's just a massive brawl. Everybody's just trying to go in for a few kills here. They're trying to make the play for Greymane. Samuro! Does he? Oh, he actually survives. Cocktail doesn't connect, and there we go. But with Greymane on the objective, you have, of course, quite a bit of push power here. Now, this is the one thing that we really have to give him here. They have Greymane, which is amazing on the objective. They have then also Artanis, who, despite the fact that he is just not great in his role, still has that talent that obviously now in that setup, as bad as it might be from the perspective of team composition, still gives them value on the race. So they're doing their best, but they're still losing out on the blue team because they have also a few heroes that can really pack a punch here. And talking about punching people, Diablo is already... he's one for punching, and he's trying to punch out Garrosh. He's trying to make a bit of a play. Didn't quite work out yet, but at the same time, with both teams reaching level 7, we have Calamity now. So Li Ming has their Calamity. We, by the way, have saw also the Incendiary Elixir, which has been buffed a little bit by Blizzard in the last one. Cooldown reduction kicking in here now as well. And a massive cooldown reduction on that talent can make for some pretty cool plays, and also a lot of AoE. I'm not quite sure that, yeah, in Germany we call that dumm gelaufen, quite literally. So, good old Garrosh took definitely the wrong path here. Should have taken a straight way back, but instead got trapped outside of the wall, and that didn't really work for him. And and now we have the kill against Kel'Thas. Damn. These guys are actually starting to crush it. Look at Diablo at the front. Call him butter because he's on a roll. That guy is just going full aggression here. He knows only one direction, and that is forward. The entire time, just going straight in. Yep, and follow through. I'm gonna call bullshit on that. I mean, I don't really... Like, follow through is a talent that oftentimes in theory kind of sounds nice, but I talk about this talent a lot when we're looking at Thrall, for example. You have to have real good mechanics, even on a hero like Thrall, who has a lot lower cooldowns and much more if you stack Echo of Elements and have the second charge on the Chain Lightning, to really get value. So mechanical skills are definitely needed. And I've seen a lot of Artanis players in Division 7, Division 6, but the one thing that I've never seen on any of these Artanis players is a high level of mechanical skill. I mean, we're not talking about Ridge or Snitch here, so yeah, that talent probably not really the best choice, but then again, yeah, it's Artanis after all, so at this point you might as well roll the dice, right? Level 10 is already in, and I gotta admit that with Samuro in the hands of the blue team, I could totally see them in the late game having a really dominant performance if the Samuro player knows what he's doing. Also note, oh, talking about knowing what you're doing, what the hell? Bladestorm, what is this? North America? Glorung, is it you? Okay, let's go. Bladestorm is in, and we're actually seeing this integrate over the Wave of Force, which is the normal choice to be made when you don't have a Nubarak against you with a Cocoon. So, let's see how this is gonna work out. I guess Li Ming looked at Diablo and said like, oh my god, he has like a flame thing, I'm going to go straight in with the Disintegrate, we're gonna do this. We're also seeing the holy word, Salvation. Anduin is a little bit like Mini-Trump. He has all the words, he has the best words, everybody says so. And on the other hand, the Purifier Beam. Oh, and Pyroblast. Nice. Pyroblast right there. So, let's go. The value. You can already smell it from here. Talking value, that camp at the bottom of the map is going to do a lot of work now too. But let's see. I mean, Samuro got reworked in general a little bit. I think I touched upon it earlier when we jumped in. So Bladestorm is now a little bit different too. But you obviously give up on a lot of the macro aspects that you're normally trying to go for when you're playing Samuro. So if you don't have anybody to really lock it down, then the question is always how much can you actually get? And I guess the answer is going to come in here soon. Yeah, careful. Fugitive over here, he knows exactly what's going on when he sees the Disintegrate laser. He knows that you're pretty much self-stunned and he wants to go for it immediately. Hit the R button, baby. Already, they're starting to roll in again as the blue team is looking for an advantage. 4 kills against 2 in their favor. A bit of a flip, a bit of a stun, and Anduin is there. The taunt comes through. Bladestorm, baby! And about as much value as Pyroblast so far. But they got the kill on the other side against Jimmy. Anduin with the ult, and now they might be in trouble again too. But here comes the attack. They're trying to turn it around against Garrosh. Ana in the meantime with the pew pew pew, keeping everybody alive as much as she can. And it seems like, at least for now, we're talking about a 4 versus 5. Those illusions have done a little bit of work. But here comes the attack as the hot shot goes in. It's really weird. I always want to call them the hot shots, but for some reason I call it the hot shot. So yeah, apparently these guys need a daily shot of Heroes of the Storm in order to be happy. That's the only explanation that I have. Like, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But as it stands, we actually have at this point the attack over here trying to take the Immortal down, and the red team should easily get this now. There's another taunt and another Blade Storm. Oh yeah, zoning, baby. That's what we're getting here. Problem is that they're all defending. They killed Garrosh, which is great, but nobody's on the left side trying to turn around. And there we go. Immortal taken. The nano-boosted Khaldor is just trying to do what he can here. With that red hue, he actually looks really like a bit of a blood elf. So it's pretty... It's a good look on him, I gotta say. Yeah, there we go. Look at it. Low cooldown, so he can spam the shit out of this one. And Samura's just saying, you know what that is? Blade Storm? It's just wave clear. It's only wave clear, nothing else. So yeah, he's in full wave clear mode here. And that actually should be reflected also in the siege numbers. Exactly, 44,000. Obviously also boosted simply through the fact that he was top solo lane the entire time. But yeah, look at it. The value. The value. Non-existent. Zoned him out for a second. But yeah, so whereas Samuro is the new Sonya pretty much. The cooldown is a little bit longer, but it's more effective, so it's full on spin to win what he's trying to pull off here. Diablo at the bot lane, as you could see, was actually sucked into the stun, and apparently didn't have enough yet either. Tries to go in for another Sudoku moment, but Anduin with the big boy save. And here comes the attack, the push over the wall, but the gate gets destroyed. The body block attempt is strong, but not strong enough, and Diablo is down once more. I think he has a little bit of a crisis right now. Seems to be that he self-identifies as Malthael, the aspect of death, because he's certainly flirting with it a lot. Once again dead, and that's including the death timer right here. Pyromaniac on the other side, not taken, and there we go again. Full on wave clear mode. I gotta admit, it's kind of funny. I mean, it doesn't really feel like Samuro anymore when he does that, but it's kind of cool at the same time. Okay, so with this, we have all of a sudden level 13 talents on both sides, at least that's something. But we're also looking at 6 kills against 5. How's that Tannis doing? How's my boy doing? And as expected, he's useless. No. He I'm triggering Samuro fans all over the world again. Sorry, not Samuro, Tannis fans all over the world, but yeah. But swaps himself into a corner, and then he goes like, guys, I have this laser. Oh no, they found the counter. They're walking away from it. No. Oh, the value. He actually got a kill. Look at that. And Anduin stands right next to him and tells him, fuck you. I love how Anduin just sits there with his ult ready and he's like, no, I don't care. You can't die. You insulted my daddy earlier. I heard you. And yeah, no, you're going down. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to waste the cooldown for you. That's not worth it. So yeah, Anduin and Samuro have apparently a little bit of a beef there. Not quite sure what happened with that. But personally, I really like that after the 10% movement speed increase across the board, people are still picking this talent. Because it's just like, guys, I have this thing. It's a massive laser from the sky that kills everything. And you cannot counter it. There's only one secret way. Oh my god, no, they found it. They're walking away from it. How did they figure it out so quickly? Oh god. But again, 6 kills against 6, 15 against 15. We're looking strong here. I like a few of the YOLO moments that we already had. And let's see. There comes our little swap attempt. Okay. On the other side, Samuro is trying to sneak in from the side, but he doesn't get quite as much action as he would like here. Pretty much like Jimmy in a club. But there comes the spin to win, and Jimmy is down, and Samuro is following him shortly after. Li Ming is looking for reset that she doesn't get, and here comes Anduin running around the bush again. There's an attempt, gets the heal out, walks around the cooldowns a little bit. So yeah, that laser highly ineffective. There's always the argument, of course, that at least you have to run away from it, but honestly, if you just like know a little bit how to use your abilities, then you can just stop, cast an ability, and continue walking. You're not gonna take too much damage there either. But Artanis did a thing. Artanis did a thing. He just killed Li Ming. I personally think that it was by accident. He just stumbled and hit her head or something, and she died. So, but still, she went down, and they have a big immortal now. That's probably the best thing about this entire fight for the hotshot. The Glass Blazer, they don't really have a lot of going there for themselves. So, Dibbles is again on a suicide mission, and yeah, I told you, that guy I mean, maybe he doesn't self-identify as Malthael, but if it's not Malthael, then it's definitely Murky. He probably just is surprised the entire time that he doesn't insta-respawn. He's just looking for his egg the entire time. But either way, it does not really work the way that he was hoping. I can tell you that much. How many times did he actually die? He went down 4 times. Really? Only? Feels like more. Down to the bottom of the map. Samuro against Artanis once more. And all the way up to the top. There we go. Starting to move in right away. Oh, yeah. Good old Jimmy dead again. And the red team crushing through the keep. They might even make a play for... No, they shouldn't make a play for core. I love Pyroblast. It's... The memes are real. The memes are real. The core, by the way, is falling. They're actually getting this. Samuro is halving back a little bit late, if you ask me. Apparently, he thought, guys, you got this. Well, newsflash, as it turns out, they don't have it. And that's game. The hotshot taking the lead in the best of 3 in Division 6 here. GG and... yeah, played, I guess. So yeah, congratulations for the lead in this series. Game number 2, ladies. The Glass Blazer against Hotshot. As we are Hotshot, yeah, okay, not the Hotshots, whatever. It's Volskaya Foundry, and on the left side, Rexa, played by Kubi. We have Mondzwerg on Reina, Tyvia on Li Ming, Gugelhus on Malganis, Graf Tofi on Deckard, and on the right side, a Budget Samuro, a Fugitive on Sonya, Vullish on Anduin, Blue on Khaldor, and look at that, Suljin is in the house. Not in a brawl, not in an ARAM, nope, in an actual game. Division 7 graces us with his presence again. Le Grand KBA is playing him with a Taletis on ETC. The lead goes to the team in red. Hotshot slightly ahead here. Headhunter taken on level 1. So every single takedown, well, every first takedown against any of the 5 heroes on the other side is going to give you a bit more damage. And the quest reward is pretty nice too. The increased range is superb if you can pull that off. And let's face it, if like Suljin isn't really a hero that you see a lot in the higher level of play outside of North America. It's not really something that is embedded in the European scene in any way. But if you're playing that hero on the lower level, where kills are usually happening a lot more often, then your chances of completing Headhunter are obviously a lot higher. Generally speaking, not a hero that I would traditionally advise you to play. That's normally something that's reserved for brawls, where Suljin is just... In ARAMs and brawls, Suljin is just hands down the best hero you can possibly pick. Like, the continuous 5 versus 5 brawls there are just perfect for him, and especially his baseline quest. But I would be surprised if he walks away with a big amount of stacks here on the baseline, and that's mostly what Suljin is about here. But we have Rexa also taken, and, well, a little bit of a gank attempt at the top. And look at that! Convection that actually connects, but... Haha, 19 hit points! And he moves away. Nicely done. Well played here from... I wanted to say Jimmy, maybe I got a little bit lucky there too, but that's part of the game, right? So the red team sets up a gank, but can't quite pull it off. Now, as we're leading into 1 minute mark, we have only one team taking their item yet, and that's actually a problem for the red team. That's a huge problem. On the macro level, it's a way better move for the Glass Blazer, because now it means that, first of all, there's a chance to still fight for this one. If now a fight happens between blue and red, then, well, Suljin goes down. That's another, actually, indicator that they should go for the item over here. But even if it's on 5 versus 5 grounds that they're taking the battle, they have the extra turret that they can drop to give themselves an advantage in the fight. But so far, they haven't even made that move. The next problem is that if you take this one late, it means that while the objective is on the map, it doesn't spawn again. We're going to see that actually for the blue team. While the objective is up, they will see that turret spawn once more, and then they can move over and grab another item. And item control is absolute key on Volskaya. So after game 1, I'm honestly a little bit surprised and disappointed that Hotshot doesn't go for that, because this is pretty much the ABC of Volskaya Foundry, item control. Nobody even going for this one at the top. And as I said, blue team should have long ago started to fight for this, because they have an item advantage over their opponent that they could use to secure this. But now, late in the game, it's actually still taken, but this is shortly before the objective spawns, and as the item is about to be grabbed, let's check over to the blue team's side. Yep, another 50 seconds, and then they can take this one, so just as the objective is going to be fought over. Level 4 talents also give us, in this case, the animal husbandry. You don't see that as much anymore on the higher level play with Rexa, as Rexa joined the scene again, or the meta, in the early stage of 2019. It was the dominant talent of him. But as players and teams figured out more and more how exactly to deal with Rexa, he started to shift into Hunter-Gatherer instead. So a lot of the Rexa players just accepted that they will die eventually in the game and moved away from animal husbandry. But here in Division 6, we still have the talent active. That's already the aggression. With the camp taken at the top side, they're actually trying to push this in aggressively. So Monswerk pushes the lane out and can now move down to the bottom of the map. They have level 7, which gives them another lead. This is really the time to go for it, and it's exactly what they're doing. Also another 5 seconds until the turret is back up, but they should really fight for this. Monswerk should not sit topside anymore. He should really move down and just let the wave do its thing. So he's already late on that rotation, and they're not capitalizing on the level 7 talent as a result. If he would have moved in, they could have taken a 5 versus 5 with them running a talent advantage over the opponent. Now it's level 7 versus level 7. Good for them is that Sonya actually split off to the top to at least soak some experience. The turret dropped a little bit too early. In this case, doesn't do anything for him. This is a bad turret, by the way. The turret was dropped for no reason. It's a 4 versus 5 that they're fighting right now. The red team has already retreated. Sonya is sitting topside. They know that. She's in full vision. And they dropped the turret for no reason whatsoever. So that turret doesn't do anything. By the time that the red team is going to push in again, that turret is gone. And what they should do now, while they still had Sonya top, is go for this camp again, grab a second turret, and then move back in here. Then they would have had 2 turrets against none, which would have given them an amazing position for the objective. They might still win it, but that's how you should have actually played this right now. As it stands, they get the kill against Sonya. That might just be enough to... Oh, especially with the kill against Keltas. Yeah, there's where Calamity comes in and gives the resets for Li Ning. They even get the kill against Suljin. So they grab this one either way. But still, from a macro perspective, keep those things that I just explained in mind. Because against a better team, that would have been a problem. And once that you actually take the Protector, again, the rule of thumb is prepare the next lane, which they actually do. And this is something where so far the blue team has played much better than the red team. They have, on the macro level, made the better moves. Yes, they missed a few in the last fight, as I already went over, but they at least seem to know that one of their goals has to be to eliminate the opponent's fountain and the wall now, so that for the next objective they're ahead. And I love this. They go in, they take it down, and they're saying like, okay, heading into objective number 2, we're going to be far ahead. And just look at the setup that they have. They have level 10 now. This is the moment where you should push for a fort, actually. You should honestly get Jimmy towards the top and go for the fort here. You have level 10. They just lost Kelthas. Kelthas just YOLO'd against this one. And we have Jimmy in the middle, but again, this taking this down, it gives you a little bit of damage, but up at the top, if he flanks top now and they go in with the ults, they can obliterate them. They can take a few kills and they can take down the fort. Here comes the attack. Jimmy isn't there. He still gets damage in the middle. That's not nothing. It's at least something, so it could be worse. But they could have gotten more out of this situation right now. A little bit of damage in the middle, trying to take the fountain down. Generally speaking, I appreciate the thought here. taking the fountain down should always be one of the highest priorities. He's overdoing it a little bit because he goes into deep, but he shouldn't die, so it should be fine. And they actually get the kill against Suljin. He's trolling, clearly. I mean, he can't help himself. It's in his nature. So now, as they are also starting to lock down Nelganis, it seems like we're going to see another kill here. Sleep, baby! Stay a while and get wrecked! Double kill against Anduin and against ETC. Yep, the Alliance goes down hard in this one. Still no level 10 abilities. And if you go up against an opponent that has level 10 and you don't, then you should always fall back a little bit more. You shouldn't really go in for any of these attacks. But again, 8 kills against 0. So far, the blue team is crushing. They are looking for that win. They're looking for game number 3. They don't want it to end here. And Sonya at the bot lane is also needs to be a bit cautious. Suljin, by the way, has 15 stacks nearly. That will give him a range increase. We have so far nobody actually dying on the blue team side, which also means that ever since level 4 came in, Rexa has now started to accumulate more hit points for himself and Misha. He's actually sitting right now at an additional 662 health. So as this continues for him and Misha, this is going to become pretty nice. But let's see. Can now, with level 10 abilities, the red team actually fight back into this? So, oh, look at that! We actually have a good talent for Khaldor. What happened? He actually didn't go to Pyroblast. This time we have Phoenix. I like it. Also, Anduin with a light bomb. Yeah, item gets taken. Keep in mind what I said earlier. Item control is everything here. So 3 items are now being held by the blue team. And all that the blue team has to do now is wait for the next objective. Don't YOLO. Don't suicide. Just play the lanes. Don't run with Jimmy straight through the most aggressive lane towards the bottom of the map that you could possibly find. So, yeah, just don't run into a gank. Just play it safe, play it sound. You have a talent advantage, you have a structural advantage, you have taken your opponent's fountain down, you are ahead in items. This is the moment when you want to just calm down a little bit, make sure that you don't lose any ground, don't give your opponent anything they shouldn't get, and don't fall into a mosh pit like that. Oh, of course it happened. And he takes the most aggressive way to go to the top again, and at least he dropped the item before. Jimmy just walked straight in. Again, guys, there is a safe path. You go over here towards the end. You don't always have to take the direct line to any lane. It is oftentimes a trap or a real risky endeavor. If you just lost 2 heroes at the top lane, a really bad move is to just straight up with a range damage dealer walk exactly to where they died without any backup whatsoever. I mean, the saving grace behind all of this is that Suljin only got a single stack out of this one for his level 1, so he didn't get the 3 that he could have gotten here. Also, as Rexa didn't die, he still holds on to those nearly 1,000 hit points now that he got through Animal Husbandry. That's at least something. But the blue team just went full throw city and threw the advantage that they had, at least to an extent, away. Now, they still hold the fountain against no fountain, so that gives them a bit of a lead over here. But they need to be cautious about this now. Deckard Kane has still the healing beacon, so on items they also have a slight advantage. The opponent still holds the turret, but that's about it. But the blue team is now taking the position here, but they could have been so much more ahead here already. So as it happens, we have again our little setup. Li Ming moving away just as the shit was about to hit the fan. So light bomb comes in too. There's a little bit of a damage set up, but already we're having also the healing beacon on the ground. Sonya comes in with a spin to win attempt. Suljin, yeah, I'm sorry bro, but I'm not sure if that's really the play here. And Calamity, anything? No! And the root against Li Ming. But still, a lot of ults got baited out. Everybody is just rushing away. Sonya the only one still trying to pick a fight here. Everybody else is already on the way out, and I don't think they can do anything about that second protector. Second protector is going to be taken, and then the only question is, will the blue team actually move down to the bottom of the map to prepare for the next objective, or are they going to try to go solely for the fort and then for the keep? Oh, that's a good kill. Yeah, now they could at least pick up the fort. And you can still, of course, wait for the minion wave to support you a little bit in that attempt too. Don't have to, but yeah, they're going to take the fort, and then let's see where they're headed after that. The rest of the team should actually push in, especially Misha should start to zone this a little bit more. So the protector is already down to 50%. They could have definitely saved a lot more HP there, but let's see what they're actually going to do with this. The play should be, first of all, to soak the experience here, but also to go right over here and take the fountain down again. Instead, they're moving into the mid lane to try and take the fort. Again, doesn't give you as much. In theory, always try prepare for the next objective. Try to prepare for the next lane. And that's what they should do here. But they are kind of neglecting this a little bit. It's not going to be the end of the world, but again, your goal should always be to make the game as easy as possible for yourself. And the way you do that is to take your opponent's fountain down at the bottom of the map so that you have an advantage over the next objective fight. That ult didn't hit anything, so Sonya already was bored to death by Deckard Cain a couple of times, and she knows exactly what's happening when the old man is grabbing his reading glasses. So as he's grabbing the book and trying to tell stories again, she's immediately jumping out of the zone. But with that little push at the bottom of the map, you might still see them make a play for the fountain, but I don't think they can pull this off now. It's level 16 that we're currently seeing in the hands of the blue team, so they still have the lead and could even invade this. I'm actually really surprised that when they have an advantage, they're not pushing it as aggressively as they should. They're a little bit timid. We've seen this in the previous game already. But as it stands, we have, by the way, 1,300 extra hit points for Misha and for Rexa. Misha is currently sitting at 4,800 hit points, so does Rexa. So it's actually pretty nasty. I mean, Misha has been alive for quite some time. That Arnold the Husbandry pick is working out quite nicely for them. The attack possibly now at the top. Keep in mind there is no 16 yet for the hot shot. The red team try to get the kill against Misha, but there comes the damage. No 16 still. ETC looks for the mosh pit. Misha goes down, and what about ETC? Party time, baby! And the sleep attempt right after the kill against ETC, and they're looking for more. Nice! The clutch save on Mal'Ganis. They're trying to go straight in for the objective, but it's also Khaldor that's in trouble, and Mondzwerg comes in. Kleiner Zwerg, ganz groß, comes in with a hit and takes Khaldor down. Nicely done there. And now all of a sudden we have another item in their hands. They have the potential to push through the middle to drop the fort, which they do. 11 kills against 3, looking strong here. And now, of course, the move down to the bottom of the map to also get at least the fountain eliminated. And Sonya is griefing. Sonya is absolutely griefing. Girl, do you not have a minimap? I mean, I don't know what she's trying to do here, but without a minimap and not looking at it, not realizing that there's 5 heroes, or well, 4 plus Misha, rotating bot lane, she just goes straight for the wall. Didn't even try to escape, didn't even try to hide down here or anything. Nope. Just goes straight balls to the wall, and that's the end of her. Good Sonya. Our little Eminem with a wig is down. And that's... yeah, I mean, it's getting worse to worse. Now it's 19 against 16, 12 kills against 3. Objective is announced. They don't have 20 yet, but still. Quest is finally completed for Suljin, by the way, 14 minutes into the game. Which gives you a pretty good indication why Suljin isn't really a good pick when it comes to actual game play. As I said previously, in ARAMs and Brawls, he is the best hero that you can possibly take, that you can possibly get. But he completes his even against Misha, you know? Even against the Rexa. He completes his baseline incredibly late. Didn't even go into the Arcanite axis here, has a single stack on the Headhunter. Suljin is just not a great pick here. If you want to go into auto attackers, you can go Jimmy. There's an argument to be made for Phoenix. You can always try and go for Vala these days. Obviously, you can also Hanzo the shit out of them. But as it stands, this is definitely something where Suljin doesn't really fit the bill. Quest is also completed for Khaldor, as you can tell now. So he has mana addict at this point. That maybe gives him a little bit more. Interesting build there too, going into Ignite. I mean, the bombs get spread. Living bombs is something that the Glass Blazer don't respect at all, as you could maybe see earlier. They think it's, I mean, it's Christmas. They're trying to share as much as they can. Over here, Burn Flesh has been taken, so it's a little bit of a weird hybrid between a normal Flame Strike build and then the attempt to get more damage or more value out of the Living Bombs. Pyromaniac on 13 is of course like a standard, just for the cooldown reduction. But either way, there we go, level 20 talents are in. Trying to make the play over here. Fugitive in trouble, and body blocked. He's down. ETC barely survives, and they're trying to get the Protector, and they get it. It's Christmas after all. Well, as this continues, talking about Christmas, guys, I said it in the last video already, and if you watch this on YouTube, I'm going to put a link again in the video description. There is currently a giveaway for a pretty sick piece of hardware, pretty expensive PC worth 3,000 euros. If you want to participate in that giveaway, you should check out the video description. I'm going to add the link there and you can check that out and maybe start the new year with a little bit of a present for yourself. But talking presents, seems like the blue team wants to give themselves a present right now in form of a victory in game number 2 so they can force the third game. They're going to try and make that one work. Everybody is pushing straight through the bot lane. Khaldor is at the top, dealing with the catapults, so that has already worked out. That was a nice touch from the blue team earlier to make sure that they at least get top lane pressure throughout all of this as well. But here comes the attack. By now we have 1,800 extra HP for Misha and Rexa, so that level 4 talent pick definitely worked out for him in this case. Also, of course, a bit of a failure for the hotshot to not get more damage out of all of this and not really focusing on any of these heroes. Yeah, taking the fountain down, sneaky. But he has the fight. ETC tries to go in, has the mosh pit, the kill against Li Ming. Yep, and the go for Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis, look at him. Yeah, he's down. A little bit of a dancing vampire over here. The dancing bat goes down 19.5. Is this a comeback? He's typing. He's furiously typing at this point, you can tell. I've seen this move before. Yeah. Whenever someone stands around like this, he's definitely typing. Right there. Alright, so with that said, we have a bit of an approach to the bottom of the map. Again, this is the wrong lane to push, as I said. If you want to push a lane, push the mid lane. Why? Because the next objective is in the middle. Try to deny your opponent that fountain because they themselves don't have one. So pushing the bottom of the map doesn't really do a lot for them at this point. Well, not quite true. Obviously, pushing the bot lane out means you have catapult spawning that makes the continuous catapult pressure through the blue team at the bottom of the map a little bit easier to deal with, but you also want to prepare for the next objective because that fountain over here, if you pre-tap that as you head into the fight, that can make the difference between win or loss. So this is an important thing to deal with. Items, another really important deal. You want to take those if you can. At this point, they're currently also taking the important Armani Resilience. We have the flamethrower in as well. Top lane, that's a different problem. I'm a little bit confused that nobody really went over to deal with that and they're still not sending anybody in. Actually, as I say that, Suljin just halved back, but I don't think he's going to be there in time. He needs to take the catapult down and he doesn't even try, honestly. Yeah, that's just too late, bro. So that one's down. That means 2 lanes are now continuously pushing against the red team. And this is just not looking good. 13 kills against 6, now another item taken. Actually moving in over here, trying to set this one up as well. Living bombs get spread to Misha. There's the light bomb. Li Ming goes in and goes down within seconds. And the red team, they get the kill against, well, Reyna against Misha. ETC goes down again. Mal'Ganis getting dropped, and that's now 3 kills against 1. At least Rexa didn't die, so he still holds on to all of his hit points. By now he has a hit point advantage of 2,100. He's sitting at 6,200 HP here at a maximum, thanks to Animal Husbandry. But the objective is going to get spawned in another 25 seconds. Guys, it's getting close. It's getting really close in game number 2. I mean, they're all over the place. Suljin is currently at 57,000 damage, 66k for Khaldor, who has a really good time here, considering that everybody is spreading the living bombs as much as they can. They're all in a sharing mood during Christmas. Well, we currently have still people coming back in just a few seconds. Misha is back to business too, and at this point Misha is just a beast. I mean, she always is, but more so than usual, because we're looking at 6,700 HP now for that little bad boy here. So, as they are starting to hold on for the objective for as long as they can, another problem is that the red team will have to deal with the triple catapult at the bot lane, catapult at the top lane. ETC is now moving back in and is going straight into the middle after respawning, so the catapult pressure at the bottom of the map is an issue. 20 minutes in, those things hurt a lot. And keep that fountain in mind. They can pre-tap or they can just like fall back during the fight. Mosh pit interrupted instantly. Li Ming gets away, turns around. The kill against Suljin. Catapults are making their way towards the course. Li Ming is escaping once again. They're trying to go for the kill against Khaldor as Anduin comes in to try and save him, but it's a little bit too late. Rexa goes down, loses all of the animal husbandry stacks, but does it really matter? I don't think so, because we have 4 catapults on the core, just shelling the shit out of the main structure. ETC is on the run. The objective is currently being taken too. Li Ming has to be careful that she doesn't get taken down. Anduin is rushing back, trying to save the core, which is now down at 59%. Jimmy is still holding this. Why go for the core when you go for the objective? Why end the game? Overrated. Don't need that. 26% on the core. Let's go for the objective, boys. 19% on the core. 15? No, let's stay right here. Let's play it safe. Don't right-click the core against the 3 remaining heroes. That would be too easy. No. Just like stand here and take this one. Better safe than sorry, boys. You know the drill. Ooh, and there's also mercenary camps on the map. But yeah, so let's take it from there. They give the opponent another chance to actually fight for this one, but I still think this is gonna be a lost cause. Yeah, they don't even go on the point for it. So there's the protector. We're now 22 minutes in, and with 15% on the core, you obviously know how this is going to end now. They are moving through the middle? The only lane where there is still a keep, because you need to get them all. It's like playing Pokemon. Nah, okay, they walk around it. Left, right, top, bottom, they're not quite sure. Whoever is piloting this thing is definitely drunk. Is that a DUI when you drive like a mech drunk? I think it should be. Either way, they're gonna win this game, and it is a 1-1 victory for the Glass Blazer. Also, quick announcement, this is important, guys. This is game 2. We're heading into game number 3. The teams, unfortunately, screwed up their uploads a little bit. So I'm casting, I actually casted the last map, assuming it's the second map. So the next game that comes up, this is for everybody watching this on YouTube. The next map is indeed the third map, even though the score is not properly displayed at the top. And I'm referring to it as the second map a couple of times. The teams just screwed up a little bit. They uploaded the replays in the wrong order, but obviously for you guys I made sure to have all of this in the correct order so they can enjoy this on YouTube. Again, if you like the commentary, give the whole thing a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, then definitely do that. But the next game, despite the scoreboard, is indeed the third map between the two of them. So there was a little bit of a problem with the upload from the team side. With that said, still hope that you guys have some great holidays and enjoy map number 3 between Glass Blazer and Hotshot. Game number 2, the Glass Blazer, lost in game number 1. You have no idea how difficult this actually is to go full on German for the pronunciation for Glass Blazer and then immediately switch back into English a second later. It's honestly weird. It was weird at the beginning of the first game, it's weird at the beginning of the second game. Just want to let you know. So Hotshot was actually able to win game number 1. Now we're in Cursed Hollow, and we have actually a global approach here from the Glass Blazer, the Germans. With Kubi on the Haka, Mundzwerg on Falstad, we have Taivia on Hanzo, Gugulhus on Garrosh this time, and Graf Tofi on Anduin. And over to the right side, there's Budget Samuro, played by Fugitive, Vullish on Ana, Blur on Junkrat, Legrand KBA on Reyna, and Teletis on ETC. So yeah, there we go. Let's see what we're gonna get this time. Already a little bit of a flip and a quick move back. ETC is actually pretty decent into Garrosh if you know how to play him. You can first of all, you can slide out every single time he throws you. You can also just prevent him from flipping you in the first place by simply pushing him away. But the more important part in this game is really the approach of the blue team, who are definitely attempting to play a little bit of a global game. They have Falstad now at the bottom of the map. Oh, going toe-to-toe with Jimmy. Yeah, who's griefing? He's griefing for the globe. Did you see that? He's just like, retreat, I'm losing the... Oh, there's a globe. Let's get that first. So he goes back in for the globe and immediately gets wrecked by a Falstad, who just says, well, dude, if you want that globe, I'm going to take your life. Good luck with that. So Junker takes over. But as I was about to say, the interesting part is really the global approach that we're now seeing from the team in blue, with the Haka top side, Falside at the bottom, Fugitive at the top on his budget Samuro nearly dying too. And the interesting part is now, how is this going to work out for the blue team? Are they going to be able to pull this off? Especially since Falside, for example, has actually gone into an auto attack build. Not really all that common anymore these days. What you usually see is Wingman on level 1, Boomerang on 7, then depending on how the lane goes, Hammer gains on level 4, and then cooldown reduction talents on the later levels. But in this case, it's still going to be an auto attack build, which means most likely Giant Killer on level 13 to put a bit more pressure onto the front line, no matter what. And of course trying to get the stacks going there too. So it should be an interesting one there. There's always the risk that secret weapon is getting picked on level 7. If someone doesn't read talent descriptions and doesn't really think those things through, then there's a good chance that you get level 7 secret weapon. If that atrocity gets actually taken, let's cross that bridge when it's actually the case. But obviously Boomerang is the talent to go on level 7. And always will be, at least until Blizzard patches again and decides that they want to do something about the balance. But early on in the game, before we have the first objective spawning, it's actually pretty calm and collected here. The camps have spawned, immediately we're seeing the teams go for them, so they're all playing currently around that. We have a bit of a push against Sonya topside, and someone should actually help out, because those two Siege Giants are now going to do some solid work. Falstad is slightly in trouble at the bottom of the map too, going up against Sonya, who's actually retreating here, but the bird was pretty low. Sorry, not against Sonya, but obviously against Junkrat. So Junkrat in this case actually retreating for now. First tribute spawns topside, everybody else is currently gathering in the middle of the map to try and do their thing. So let's see how this is gonna pan out. And Sonya, by the way, with Shattered Ground on level 4. But with that said, everybody's starting to make that move. Siege Giants, as I said, have done a little bit of work topside. And it's all about level 7 right now and about the first objective. Kill against ETC at the same time. I don't know what Hanzo is doing, but in professional terms, we call that griefing. Doesn't die though, so that's at least a bit of a plus for them. But Sonya just might, because here comes the attacks. But Granny Anna has her back, but only for a moment, because then Dehaka's tongue connects, and that's the second kill. 3 kills in total now, and here comes level 7. And please don't do it, 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 please don't do it. I don't mean don't pick a talent, I just mean don't pick trash weapon. Alright. No! Why? ETC dies again. Alright. We have to go into the secret weapon rant again. I'm sorry, but yeah. Horrible talent. It's a garbage talent. It's total shit. If you want to give yourself a little bit of a handicap, then pick that whenever you want. If you're actually looking for something that helps you win the game, then for love of God, don't take it. Boomerang is just way too good. By the way, talking about taking things, nobody's taking that tribute. Nobody really wants to. That poke that we have from Junkrat and the interrupts is just a bit too strong. But they're taking kills without end. 5 kills against 0 now, which also helps them with an incredible lead right now. They're nearly on level 8 as the fight still continues. One of the globals should slowly make his way down to the bottom of the map. I actually think that Dehaka should still have his global up here. Actually, Dehaka might be in trouble. Nah, Sonya doesn't get the kill, but here comes the collect. Alright, so now that the tribute is taken, let's talk about Secret Weapon a little bit. Or more importantly, let's talk about Boomerang. Secret Weapon is a shit pick, and one of the reasons is you don't... First of all, even if you play it perfectly well, even if everything works out exactly as you intend to, you're barely getting any auto attacks connected while the Hammerang is actually in flight and where you get the extra attack damage. Even in the best of situations, which you will very rarely encounter, is that going to be the case. So even if everything goes well and you have great mechanics, it's going to be pretty rough. That, on the other hand, was nearly the kill! Flew into the trap and nearly got killed, but it's still 1-0 for Falstad against Junkrat. Alright, back to the rant. So even if everything works out perfectly, you're gonna get a lot of auto attacks out of this one. But Even if it does, you're not getting the same value out of Secret Weapon that you will get out of Boomerang. It's nice burst damage in any team fight where you can easily get some damage in against the hero, but it also helps you to just clear waves very, very quickly. You can easily take down the backline minions if you explode it properly within a second, and that is just insanely useful if you're picking up experience on the off lane, if you're trying to stack your level 1, for example, and it really helps you to get more out of the global ability, and Falstad is a global hero. If you're going into this one and you give up on your wave clear, you might as well go into real auto attack hero that offers a lot more in this case. I'm not gonna harp too much into it because it's another one of these infamous Khaldor rants that has been going on for way too long. But yeah, the poke potential that you get with Boomerang, the wave clear that you get through it, the increased global value that you have, and also this sheer burst damage in team fights should not be understated. One of the things we also shouldn't understate is the way that the red team is currently making a bit of a comeback happen for themselves. They don't have level 10 abilities, but they just picked up 3 kills, which is kind of nuts. So now that Falstad has his ult ready, he should actually go into Mighty Gust, but at this point I don't trust this guy anymore. Our little Mondzwerg has already proven that he's not reliable, but there we go. Head straight into it. Also Ana with the Eye of Horus. That being said, we actually see adaptation for the Haka. Okay, someone not going for the isolation here. Oh, and leap! Leap! Oh! Let's go, baby! Nope, doesn't even use it. Don't need it. Short distance arrow from Hanzo. 0 value there. And the Hyperion also, like the zoning Hyperion being used. But they picked up in total now 2 tributes, so it's not really too bad for the red team. Blue team started all of this off with 6 kills against 0, but all of a sudden this is starting to get a little bit nasty. They go for Hanzo again. Jump, Hanzo, jump. The drag, and whoa! And he goes down. Alright, Sonya jumps in, gets the kill. Hanzo dies, Falstad dies. The blue team is getting absolutely murdered by the hotshot at this point. A little impressive or incredible. Finally a kill for the red team again. But yeah, it's a bit weird if you consider how the early game went. Blue team was crushing. The Glass Blazer were absolutely blowing them away there. But now it's a bit of a different momentum that we're having in this game. When it comes to stacks though, we see nearly a completed quest talent for the Haka. We have at least 16 stacks already for Falstad. So the auto attacks will keep coming. Would be of course much faster, better and easier if he had Boomerang. And not shit weapon on level 7. But yeah, so now he's sitting there and he's just like, boys, wait for me. I promise I can clear this wave at some point. Maybe, maybe not. Not sure why that just happened, but okay. Apparently he wants to rush towards the top. I mean, again, he apparently just uses global to go to the bottom of the map. That's probably the reason why he's currently flying around like this, because usually you want to be at the bot lane and then go for that big arrow for the interrupt, short arrow on the other hand, and the kill against Anduin as ETC does not get a lot of value out of the mosh pit. Now this time the Hyperion is a little bit better. Sonya leaps in again and gets the kill. The Riptire comes off and Garrosh gets dropped. 9 kills against 8, and they are going to take that curse. Blue team went from 6 kills to 0 to falling behind in kills, experience, and getting cursed by the opponent. It is not looking good at all. Yep, this is pretty bad. Well, let's see. At the same time, as we are currently jumping into the mid lane, we have already this broken through, starting to make the play straight in for the first fort. The one at the top is apparently about to be taken as well, because everybody on the red team side is starting to go in to drop it. Falstad at the bot lane is trying to defend it, again without wave clear, because he doesn't really have any without his level 4 talent choice. Another good example of where it actually totally sucks if you don't have the talent. I mean, again, there is a reason why for 3 years of Heroes of the Storm, where we had the competitive scene flourishing with HGC and the earlier days of HGC, we always saw Boomerang on the hero. There's a reason for that. That's not a happy accident. So now with at least a kill, they're trying to fight their way back into it. They lost a couple of important structures and have to make sure that they're not losing out on the structures in the middle of the map here either. But at least they still are in experience range. This guy, on the other hand, tries to die and successfully manages to do that. There's a lot of Sudoku attempts that we have here. Apparently they really like Japanese puzzles. But that was an interesting Mighty Gust and Leap interaction that we just had between the two of them. And, well, now there's obviously still the question of how exactly Dehaka is going to play this. The one thing that I say Dehaka because I want to see how they're using their globals. Because I gotta admit that so far I'm pretty underwhelmed of how they're playing their globals. If you play a global hero, what you should rarely do, or pretty much never, unless you are in danger of losing out massive amounts of experience, don't hearth back to the Nexus and then use your global to get back on lane. It's pointless. You want to have your global ready so that you can join a team fight on the other side of the map, or so that you can join a gank, or so that you can join an objective fight. But what a lot of players, especially on the lower levels, always do, they see their global as a tool to make it back quickly onto lane. And most of the time you don't have to do that, because you can simply just use a proper moment to hearth back and then walk back onto the lane like any other hero as well. And then you still have your global ready when one of these situations occurs. If there was just an objective and you fly in the lane with the global, it's not really a problem. But this is one of the things that the blue team has so far failed to do. Using the advantages that they have on a macro level by using those globals. By soaking the additional lanes before they join the fights, by trying to push some structures down. And that just hasn't happened yet. Now, bosses are taken on both sides, so each team is just taking their own boss, which gives an advantage to a hotshot, because they have now the boss moving through the top side, which means it's going to go straight for the keep, so defense has to be set in place. Now, we have still to split onto the 3 lanes. We have the Glass Blazer with a lead in experience now for a little bit. Shows also once again that the entire mechanic on this map has actually been highly affected by Blizzard deciding that those forts don't give a lot of experience anymore, but just increase the passive experience gain that you get, because after a curse, on Cursed Hollow, you are now usually the team that is a little bit behind in experience, despite the fact that you won the objective. So on a structural perspective, you pull ahead, but on an experience side, you gain those rewards later on while your opponent has an easier time soaking the minion waves that push against them. But as we have 16 versus 16, it's still kind of noteworthy that the blue team still doesn't make an attempt to go for this one. And they could have. They were defending the top boss, of course, but they had a chance to come in for this one. Didn't do that so far. Now we have camps again pinged on the map, so it seems like the red team is really desperate to get a lot of those. But they need to make sure that they're also catching the experience at the top, which is why our budget Tsumuro has now moved in for it as well. The rest of the blue team is currently busy at the bottom of the map, and Dehaka should be a bit careful. They have limited vision, so Dehaka actually doesn't have a lot of vision. They don't know that these heroes are sitting there. If there was a gank against Dehaka, they could easily take him. He definitely overstayed here a lot. Is finally learning that he should probably move away there, but here's this. If ETC waits until he tries to tunnel, there's a chance, but the rest of the team doesn't even follow up with it. That doesn't do anything for you. I was actually waiting for him to just wait for maybe the power slide cooldown or Sonya to jump in, but for some reason Dehaka says, I'm gonna man up here, boys, I'm gonna 1v3. And nobody on the red team actually helps ETC for some reason. Maybe they're all vegetarians and they don't like beef. That might be one explanation. But either way, that interaction topside was a bit weird. First of all, the potential gank against Dehaka not taken, and Dehaka, when he realizes there is actually danger, tries to just solo it and go in for it again, so a lot of that didn't really work out. Sonya with the giant slammer now as well. It's a little bit weird to not see her go into any sustained talents, so that's normally something that you don't really have happen a lot. And finally, it seems like I don't know why the blue team is not going for any of these tributes. They're incredibly late to this party now, too. And it should actually be, like, it's amazing to me that they let him interrupt Ana. There's the mosh pit, there's the kill, Dehaka's down, the bird flies in. They're trying to get the kill, and they're actually going to get this one. Likely, at least. Boomerang would have supplied that for sure. But as it stands, Forster down, Dehaka down. And I am just... The mind boggles when you think about the fact that with 2 globals, they're just simply letting the red team take position time and time again to take objective, and they can always go into late. Anduin goes down. It's now 12 kills against 10, and we have 2 tributes against 1. If I'm not mistaken, the last 5, I want to say, tributes went over to the red team. Might be the last 4. But either way, it's a little bit incredible to just see all of this happen right now. The red team is doing fairly well. They are maybe bunking up a little bit too much here when they're moving over across the map. But the blue team has 2 globals and they're just not using them to an advantage that they could run here. And they also really neglect the objective quite a bit. They have to fight for the next one, and it would be really good if they would take the position a little bit earlier there. Now, as we're talking about this, Ana is the only one that hasn't died yet. And, well, let's see how this is actually gonna play out. Keep in mind, the red team has not lost the fort yet. Not one. So, the tribute position is a bit better for the red team, is more so towards their side, but then again, there's obviously no fort here anymore. But still, it's a corridor where they can pull through. The red team is moving quickly towards the camp with everybody. Nobody is even just like trying to block there. But the blue team is now slowly moving in, and you can tell they are actually afraid. They're really just inching forward. Falstad is trying to get a little bit of top value. As he's trying to go for that, can always fly in against. That's what the globals are for. Dehaka could have actually taken this down and then moved in. Here comes the fly. ETC, be careful, boys. I mean, they interrupted the mosh pit attempt once, but he has the cooldown back up. Here comes the Hyperion. ETC is looking for the slide. There's the slide, and there's the gust. Riptire comes through, but a good bubble from Anduin is actually protecting the spot. And now they can make the move here. Sonya leaps in, actually not leaping yet. There's the leap, gets dodged. ETC survives, and they're still fighting over it. I can't believe that nobody died yet. But the attack is still there, and Falstad is poking a little bit from the outside. Thanks to his level 16 talent, getting the extra slows in here now. And they make the play for Garrosh. She survives a bit longer. Interrupt, not happening. Second curse. Yep, it's in. The second curse against the blue team. Oh, God. 6 stacks missing for Falstad to complete his level 1 so that he can get more auto attack damage through with the activatable. And as soon as the curse is taken, they're going for the boss. Alright. Could have tried to push the bot lane so that the top lane with all the stuff here is actually getting value. But they make the boss move instead. Generally speaking, it's actually not a horrible decision to go for a boss when you curse the opponent. For some reason, there is this conventional wisdom where especially people in Wood and Plastic League think, oh my god, it's the worst thing you can ever do. That's actually not true. You can definitely do that. It's more so an early game thing though. In this case, I'm not quite sure if I would have really made that move, but they can definitely go for core now. But they missed out on just going for a keep. So there's multiple things that they could have done. This is definitely one option. The problem is that ETC is a little bit griefing here and it's going to be taken down. So that's a 5 versus 4 all of a sudden. But we have level 20. Sonya leaps in as well. Has crater! Sonya with a crater, and that's a cell phone pretty much. And goes down. Ana is too late. Anduin is also fallen, but they're going to make the play for core here. They're going to try to end the game. It's a 5 versus 3. She cell-phoned herself with a crater. This is amazing. I love this. Oh, the aerial crater with the washing machine. The good old days when you had Jen jump in and then just go for the barrel. Now we have the core on 39% though. It's time for a comeback, baby. They have level 20, which means that Falstad goes straight into the Nexus Frenzy. I mean, if you already YOLO into a full-on auto-attack build, you might as well go for that too, right? No wind tunnel, no epic mount, no fuck all that shit. We are going auto-attack, baby. Now, but seriously, if you are actually trying to play Falstad purely auto-attack and you never really try and take advantage of the global, then to be honest with you, you might as well go into a real auto-attack hero. That would probably be the better option there. Also, with 2 globals, they have nobody that deals with this. They have 2 globals and nobody is taking care of the bot lane while they're taking position at the top. So, Anduin is the one that moves through. There's a camp now at the bottom of the map. Now, neither Dehaka nor Falstad are saying, like, guys, maybe one of us should defend the mid and the bot lane and then we can just global in. What do you think about that idea? And both Falstad and Dehaka are both like, nah, that sounds stupid. I don't want to be there alone. I'm afraid alone. The red team don't tell me they're gonna get this one for free. Boys, you lost 2 keeps. You have 2 globals. What are you doing? No. The boss is taken. And yep, Team Hotshot is looking for the 2-0 victory against their opponent. For some reason, the blue team just said, like, fighting is stupid. Make peace, not war. Yeah, so they're not trying to fight here. Now they're all sitting at the top. And my question is more so, what does the red team do now? Ah, camps, yes! Just watch them take the camp here and then walk to the right side to take the siege camp. I don't understand why they're not simply either going for core or pushing with the boss to end. I mean, both options would be totally viable, but they don't go for either. It seems like now we're going to see a move. So apparently nobody has spotted the camp that is still available on the map. But by the time that they finally do make this happen, the boss is de-pushed. So the boss is gone, but with 39% on the core, they are saying like YOLO. Nope, they're not even saying YOLO. Here's the arrow, there's a flip, and there we go. Trying to go for the fight. ETC gets pushed away immediately. There's the Ariad crater, and again Sonya is getting duped as Monsberg just simply moves out. But there's another attempt. Sonya is already dead. And nobody goes for the core. Guys, they're going to lose this. Just mark my words. They're actually going to lose that fight again. The top keep hasn't fallen, despite the fact that they had a boss. Now they're going for Jimmy. Jimmy is completely YOLOing it here. Falside also just stands his bird as he is firing away against Junkrat. And now the ping's on the objective. Yeah, get the tribute. Get that tribute. Ending the game. Overrated. For pushing with the boss. Bullshit. Nope. We are not gonna go for the end here. This game is way too much fun. We're gonna enjoy this a little bit more. Falsard has by now 53 stacks on his level 1, so his auto attacks start to hurt a little bit. He's actually close to overtaking Hanzo in top damage for the blue team. On the red team side, it's Jimmy who does the most. But the top keep is still there, and with 39% on the core, we're 22 minutes into the game now. They could have just pushed for the boss or pushed for the core and they would have gone for victory one way or another. I love that at least the Haka is now at the bottom of the map and has finally told the team, boys, I have this new thing. Like, you're not going to believe this shit, but apparently I can move across the map. I have a button for that. And everybody's like, wait, what? So it's like, yeah, you know, we're going to come up with this new way to play the game. I'm actually going to sit on the bot lane, make sure that it doesn't push catapults against the core, and when something happens, I join the rest of you. And the team says like, nah, that sounds dumb. Just waddle over here, come on, bro. We're going to 5-man this one. So, yeah. Tribute, again, I'm not quite sure if you're really playing this around a tribute or not, but, I mean, they could honestly, at this point, just at any point move on to the core and end it. They have a Hyperion, they have Junkrat, they have ETC to zone them a little bit, but there's a boss. Junkrat wants to keep, though. And he's going to get the keep, too. Eventually. So, the boss is taken. Is this going to be the death push? No. What? Where are you? What are you doing? Why? Really? 2 people to deal with him? Okay. 4-man needed to take Junkrat down, who wasn't able to take the keep down, as the boss is moving through the bottom, and what could have been a push for maybe the end now turns into a boss running through the bottom of the map all alone. 23 minutes into the game, and the boss is just like, guys, you sure you don't want to come with me? I'm pretty strong, I promise. I actually hit pretty hard. And a 23-minute boss fails to take a fort. It's glorious. Alright. In defense of the players here, I mean, obviously we're looking at the lower end of the skill spectrum here, but I can imagine that in that situation, emotions were flying high. I don't think there's a lot of really coordinated shot calling going on anymore. This is more of just like panicking and people saying like, shit, we have to do that, damn, we have to do this, and just running around here. But yeah, it is pretty glorious. You can actually make an argument that Junkrat baiting the team at the top was the reason why they didn't lose a lot more. But maybe taking that down here with one of the globals would be a good thing to at least alleviate the pressure a little bit. Okay, face checking the bush. Fair enough. ETC gets dragged. Gets attacked a little bit. Okay, but the tribute is taken. Tribute is taken. Guys, this game, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Arrow doesn't hit anything. Mighty Gust into the corner. Wind Tunnel would have been so good here. Tries to get a little bit more damage out, and indeed does. We are now 25 minutes into the game nearly. There's the flip against Sonya, and she area leaps away from this. Destroys it herself. Junkrat, is there going to be a drag? There's a boss, baby. There's catapults at the bot lane, though. Where's my globals? No, not you, not you, not you either. No, not all 5 of you. What are you doing? Not all 5. You can't leave this up again. If they take it, you lost the game. Just send the global back, seriously. I'm telling you guys, you have 2 heroes that can move across the map. You're kidding me, right? I mean, that's one way to play it. Okay, I think that has to be it. That has to be game. 25-minute boss. Blue team just says, no, we don't like that guy. I'm not 100% certain why that happened, but it happened. And, well, here comes the attack. Here's ETC, doesn't have the mosh pit now. Tribute, by the way, is up. Jimmy, leap, Jimmy down. The bird also down. And there's the bubble. They're trying to go for ETC, and the boss is happily moving towards the core to end it all. Here comes ETC again with another slide. Riptire coming through too. And at this point, honestly, if you eat that curse, it's not going to make matters worse. It's already bad enough as it is. That boss alone is going to end that game. I can promise you that much. The taunt is good, and there's the kill against ETC. The death mosh doesn't do anything for them. And in the meantime, the boss is just sitting there. It's like, I don't think anybody wants to do something here, so I'm going to guess I end it myself. And that's going to be that. The Glassblazer Hotshots are taking the game. An interesting game that unfolded there in front of us with some very curious decision making on the macro level. But the red team is victorious and takes the best of 3 glory here in this Division 6 match. GG and well played.